Welcome back, people, to Let's Play Hearts of Iron for a Democratic Italy. And if you'll remember, in the last episode, World War II kicked off. The Germans invaded Poland. The Soviets haven't got involved yet, but France and Britain have declared war on Germany. Germany have declared war on Poland, the Netherlands, and also Belgium. Luxembourg has already been annexed. German troops are pouring, or have poured, over the Polish border. Warsaw is about to fall, and then I think pretty much the Poles are going to capitulate. Meanwhile, we've built a defensive line here. The Germans have taken their troops away from this line and obviously thrown everything they've got into the invasion of Poland. We're also in the process of building a defensive line here, and we've bolstered this with a couple of armies. 9 divisions here on the Yugoslav border in case the Germans do attack us. We're not at war with them yet, because there's no appetite for war in Italy at the minute. We were tired of foreign wars, and so we've ousted Mussolini and become democratic. And now World War II has kicked off. Old Ferruccio here wants to get stuck in and help defeat fascism elsewhere in Europe, now that he's got rid of it in Italy. However, there's no public appetite for war. We can't join the Allies, and we can't join in World War II until world tension hits a whopping 80%. Until things get that bad, we can't really get involved. But there you go. That's what's happened. Let's let the clock tick over. We're in the process of building some aircraft carriers, some close air support aircraft, and slowly providing our infantry divisions with tanks. They're almost 50% in supply of those. We no longer get the effects from fascism defeated. Okay, can't remember what those effects were, but we no longer have them. There you go. Let's speed things up to speed 4 here. It's only a matter of time before Warsaw falls. There was a battle being fought here on the French border, though. I don't know what was going on there, whether that was the Germans. Well, it looks like the Germans might actually be on the offensive now. We're getting reports of battles on the Western Front now. Excuse me, whether that's British troops going on the offensive, or perhaps the other way around. Perhaps it's the Germans pushing forward. What's this? What does this newspaper that's been flung onto my desk say? The fall of Warsaw. Oh dear. German forces advancing in Poland succeeded in capturing Warsaw. The Polish government reportedly evacuated the city as first German units entered Warsaw suburbs, and their present location is unknown. Okay, so the war is still going on, but the capital of Poland has fallen. It looks to me as if the Germans are on the offensive on the Western Front as well, which is quite impressive. They're definitely taking territory over here in the Netherlands. They're not waiting for Poland to capitulate, but there it goes. As if by magic, as I said it, they do capitulate. So the Polish government has gone into exile. All these German troops now that were in the Eastern Front here, looks like they're still mopping up some troops here. But Poland has capitulated. The last desperate ditch attempts of Polish troops encircled here has come to an end. And Poland has been capitulated. There must be loads of German troops now streaming across the fatherland in an effort to bolster their forces here. But I'm afraid there's nothing we can do about it. World tension is still in at 62%. The Italian Parliament refuses to let us get involved in this war just yet. But what I am going to do... We have this army here, which is Army Group Italy. We have this army here, which is on the German border, well, the German-Austrian border, since Austria was annexed, called Italian Army North. And we created a new army here, called Army Group Army 1, which isn't great. We'll call it Army Group Yugo, because it's on the Yugoslavian border. There you go. It's nice to give your units some form of identity. So really, we've got to wait for world tension to get to 80%. I was hoping it would get to 80% before Poland capitulated, although that was a bit optimistic, because we're in an ideal position here, kind of, if we can push here through the Alps, threaten Munich on the German flank. But in fact, to that end, we should really draw up an offensive plan for these troops now that World War II has started, and we'll be quite sort of modest in our goals. even though I think this is a bit ambitious anyway. We'll try and push in and try and capture Munich there. The plan value's at 60%. He thinks it's a good plan with the way things are. Our commander hit down here, Hugo Cavallero. He thinks that's a pretty good plan, but that's because there are no German units opposing him at the minute. So yeah, it probably would be a good plan. It would be nice if we could get the element of surprise and push over the Alps before the Germans manage to bolster this. But I would think the Germans will get an inkling before if we're likely to attack and put troops there. USSR occupies eastern Poland. So Soviet troops have occupied eastern Poland, officially for the purpose of protecting Belarus and Ukrainian minorities from the chaos. So it doesn't look like they'd officially go to war with Poland, but Germany have ceded them some Polish territory. Interesting. Well, there you go. What's going on elsewhere in the world? What are our relations like with various people? Diplomacy. Everyone's pretty neutral. Of course, the German Reich don't like us. We were their main fascist ally, and we've kind of abandoned them. Free civilian factories. Let's get producing some more military factories. Sooner or later, we're going to get involved with this war, aren't we? That's what old Ferruccio wants. We have not enough space in the south to do that. Let's build some factories in Sardinia. I think the Mediterranean is going to be pretty secure. Going to be pretty secure from the Germans. The Royal Navy are going to be blocking entry to it from the west and in the east because they are manning the Suez Canal. The Royal Navy is probably the most powerful navy in the world at the minute. And the entire Italian Navy, which is not to be sniffed at, is also occupying the entire Mediterranean Sea. 62% war score. Poland capitulated, which increased it by 3%. It's not enough to get it up to that 80%. The Italian Parliament are still not letting us join the Allies, are they? We could join the faction, but yeah, we still need 80%. Oh, Neville Chamberlain there. Peace in our time. This offensive is creeping forward slowly, but it's not exactly blitzkrieg, is it? I can't see any evidence of the Maginot Line there. I don't know if you can see that in the game or not. I would have thought you could. But as I said, no doubt there's hundreds of thousands of German divisions now travelling back west to get involved on the Western Front. All we can do is put in some plans to go on the offensive if the time arises. Strasbourg. Okay, floating airfield is finished. More naval doctrine. What else do we have on this tree then? Grand battle fleet, heavy cruise organisation, anti-air attack. We could probably look at doing something else with this research slot. Encryption, decryption. It is November 1939 now. What's this radio? Reinforcement rate. Could be useful. What have we got here? Advanced equipment conversion. Conversion speed bonus of 40%. We will need this soon. It is 1939. Let's get that in there. We've still got a deficit of oil. 8 oil. 3 military factories. Where do we have a deficit in our military production? Let's have a look. Not producing enough artillery. Not producing enough tanks. Let's put it into tanks. We're still massively short of tanks. Let's try and fill up a whole production line of factories on tanks here. Oh dear, Germany. All Italy can do now is simply wait until world tension gets high enough. That's all we can do. And in the meantime, try and build up our armed forces. Are we actually recruiting any units? We're still working on creating infantry divisions. hopefully this front will sort of stagnate and the Germans will get bogged down. You never know in this game. You never know. Question is, will the Germans attack the Soviet Union? They've sort of gone on the offensive in the West a bit earlier than they did historically. Okay, so we've got a new close air support aircraft. This is what eventually is going to equip our new aircraft carriers, but if we look at our production, we're not making any progress on this aircraft carrier because we don't have enough. It's not going to complete because of a lack of resources. It would be good if there had been a pop-up for that. It's a good job I checked. We need to trade away some civilian factories for resources. It's just, we need more. I mean, for the carrier production, we're lacking oil, steel, and chromium. We're lacking chromium for our tank production. Yeah, lack of resources is knocking that by 29%. Right, let's see who we can trade with to get some of these resources. Let's get some chromium. There's France, who are probably the nearest. But they may not be the most reliable. The United Kingdom. Our trade routes will be dependent on U-boats not disrupting them. Chromium. Does Yugoslavia have any chromium? It does have a lot of chromium actually. Where's Yugoslavia? So neighbours. Yugoslavia. They have 104 units of chromium ready for export. Yugoslavia are currently non-aligned. Yeah, we're not Mussolini anymore. We don't have any designs on Yugoslavia. Let's trade with Yugoslavia for chromium. Let's do that. So Yugoslavia. How much are we short? 26. So 4 civilian yeah, there we go. We'll take the chromium. Synthetic oil, I'm going to build our own synthetic oil plants as soon as we... God, we're massively short of steel as well. Who can provide me with steel? Yugoslavia doesn't have enough. The German Reich, I obviously can't trade with them. France. Let's just look at Europe here. Soviet Union. I'm thinking probably the United Kingdom should supply us with steel. Let's go and approach them for some steel. 6 civilian factories. There we go. Outdated equipment in production, which is the old close air support aircraft. So let's change this over to the new ones. We do have a lot of air experience, so we could upgrade them. But what we need to research now is the naval variant of these. Shouldn't take too long, but we need a carrier-borne one. And once we get these resources from trade back in, we should be able to continue constructing this aircraft carrier. It looks to be over halfway, so that's good. Let's at least get one aircraft carrier in the Med. Well, the German advance in the west isn't as fast as it was in the east, that's for sure. Okay, air doctrine. I'm thinking we go for improved oil plants here to make up this deficit of oil. Ideally, we want to produce oil domestically within Italy rather than trade for it, which will take a knock on our production. You know what? I'm thinking the Germans are getting slightly bogged down. They've made some ground, but not much. Not much. Unless this is an offensive from the west, which is getting bogged down, and the Germans are holding them off. I just don't know. Because I'm not part of the Allies, I guess I don't have... My encryption's not... decryption's not high enough. I don't really know what's going on here. Still nowhere near 80% we need to get involved in this war. Okay, 70% now, because Denmark has joined the Allies. And Germany has declared war on Denmark. The German interest in Scandinavia. The German Reich has a clear strategic interest in Scandinavia, both for basis of military operations and for the sake of natural resource import. The escalating conflict has meant there is a very real threat to any resources ferried through the Baltic on the North Sea. Well, we're not getting any resources through the Baltic and the North Sea. We're getting steel from the United Kingdom. We're getting chromium from Yugoslavia. We're going to build some synthetic oil plants to make up our deficit of... Norway has gotten involved. We're at 76% now, so it's only a matter of time before the Italian people are like, do you know what? Okay, let's take it to Hitler here. World War II could play out. It is playing out very differently. Very differently indeed. So we can, we may even be able to. Italy getting involved may be the tipping point which actually defeats the German Reich. Question is, what's going to happen with the Soviet Union? They have a non-aggression pact with Germany, but as we know, that means nothing. We're very near 80%. We have some political power to spend. How should we spend this? What have we got here? Military High Command. We should get an expert in who's going to improve our ground troops. Cavalry expert. Cavalry and motorised defence. We don't have any motorised divisions. Let's get an infantry division, because that infantry division defence and attack is improved. The bulk of armed forces is infantry. Each infantry division is supported by a small number of heavy tank destroyers. So it's just oil that we're short of now, which is good. All our shipments of chromium and steel are making it through at the minute. The Germans aren't managing to stop them. We have 3 military factories. Let's look at logistics. We're still short 180 tanks. Or tank destroyers. The HT1, the TD1 Fiat tank destroyer. Do we open up another production line for tank destroyers? It's not at maximum production efficiency. And we're not short of anything else. Obviously because we're not fighting. God, we have a surplus 299 light tanks just sat in storage doing nothing. But there isn't a template that includes them, so they're not really going to get used. 225 close air support aircraft. Let's move some of those aircraft up to the front. We've got an airfield here which still has over 300 aircraft capacity that we could move up here. Where else do we have aircraft, and what sort of aircraft are they? Naval bombers, tactical bombers. Let's move these tactical bombers and these fighters up. Moving up to this airfield here in Veneto. And what do we have here? Again, the same. Let's move all these aircraft over here. Does that put the airfield over capacity? Yeah, it does by 15 aircraft. Let's take some of these back then. Let's take some of these fighters back. Let's take these 40 fighters back. Send them back over here. Over to sort of like the western, northern Italy. Or northwestern Italy. The rest of these aircraft, they're all standing by. Let's put them on normal operations by day. And if they do get involved in this, they're going to be working in the Alpine region. Obviously, they're just not going to be doing anything yet until we're at war. But they'll be on close air support missions and air superiority. Not that my dilapidated biplane Italian fighters are going to be able to put up much of resistance against Messerschmitt 109s. But they're there, and we're so close to 80% world tension. Anyway, these military factories. We are producing motorised vehicles, so do we have a massive surplus of these? Yeah, we do. We have like 4,000 of them. We need to come up with a template for motorised infantry now. So our infantry divisions. We don't have much army experience. How do we change these to motorised divisions? We just take all these out and replace them with mobile battalions. Is that how we do it? I guess that is how we do it. Let's cancel production of these. Let's edit the template for infantry divisions. Can we just turn them into motorised infantry divisions? But we don't have enough army experience to do that. It's going to cost us 25. It's going to cost 5 to remove them. what we... Hang on, hang on. Why can we... Do we not have motorised infantry yet? That'll be why. We've got the trucks. Is it under doctrine? Artillery, land doctrine, here we go. Mechanised offensive, effect, mobile infantry. Yeah, we need to get this, don't we? But are these mutually exclusive or not? Yes, it is. Mutually exclusive from armoured warhead. So why are we producing all these trucks? I can't remember. Why did I do that? Let's stop producing those trucks immediately. Let's cancel this production line. We've got like 4,000 trucks in storage, and we don't even... We've gone down. We need to put this into tank production. We need to start producing armoured divisions. So let's do that. Where are we going? Division designer. So to create an armoured division, is this gonna... No, tank destroyers. Tank destroyer divisions, that's what we need. Armoured battalions, heavy tank destroyers. Yeah, because we've gone down this route. We've gone around the mechanised infantry. So they can be supported by engineers and support artillery. Not so much the support artillery. Cost 10 to remove it. We can't save this because it's too expensive. We don't have enough army experience to come up. I don't understand how that works. This is cavalry. Can we just replace these with tank destroyers? That's going to cost us 40. Right, we need more army experience. That doesn't stop us from producing the tanks though, and then when we have them they can pretty much instantly go into action. Unless... So let's open up another production line of tanks. I think that's the best. I think that's the best thing we can do. Heavy tank destroyers. Another one. Let's put this up next to the other one, and just add factories to that. There we go. How short of our infantry divisions of their tank complement now? 17 out of 20. So they've almost got all of it. We could. I see what we could do. Let's just go to edit this and add another heavy tank destroyer battalion, because we can save that. Okay, good. So that should put them up to 40 tanks. Good, that'll do. But really, we need to be building some armour divisions. It's a pity we don't have enough army experience to do that. We should start exercising our troops, maybe. Let's put the Italian main force on exercise. Let's just start exercising everyone. What do we need? We need about 40 to make an armoured battalion, I think. We're generating about, well, not much, even from these exercises. Research, what was just completed? I can't remember. Let's go. Construction, 1941. No, we're nowhere near 1941 yet. Engineering. We can get this though, can't we? We're 1940 now, so we can get better computers, which improves our research time, which is always good. There's very little progress, but the Allies are actually making advances. Come on, we're at 78% now. Old Ugo Calavero still thinks, well, once we take him on off exercise, and there's no German troops here, we could punch a hole right in the flank of the Germans here and advance towards Munich very quickly. assuming they've got troops garrisoning this area and the bulk of their troops here, the Allies are actually making advances. This is good. We could be ridding Europe of fascism much earlier than they did in reality. Slowly building up army experience. Oh dear. This is a spanner in the works. Yugoslavia has joined the Axis. This has thrown a spanner in the works. And it's only increased world tension to 75%. So the Allies are now at war with Yugoslavia. Let's give our Yugoslavian front army an offensive plan. What's this town here? Their capital is Belgrade. That's the terrain here is quite mountainous. Let's give them an offensive plan anyway. I'm going to push in, capture this city here, just to get them on the back foot. We'll see if we can link up with our little bit of territory we have here. No doubt this will fall, but once we get involved in the war. 9 divisions assigned. Army Group Yugo. What is this victory point here, though? That's the thing. Croatia. Zagreb. There we go. A plan is in place to take Zagreb. Let's take these troops off exercise now because they're consuming infantry equipment and stuff. Look, we've got a deficit of... although we have got a lot stored up. We're not producing enough motorised divisions. What are these trucks being used for? I don't know, but we've got loads in storage. We're short of 800 tank destroyers now. We're not producing enough, but their production efficiency will be rising. You had to get involved, didn't you, Yugoslavia? So there's our aircraft variant of our close air support aircraft done. You had to get involved, Yugoslavia. I'm still confident, though, we can deal a pretty hefty blow to Germany. 1940, anything we can pick up here? Not really. Land doctrine is still going. Better artillery will probably be good because it's 1940 now. We can get improved artillery upgrade. Let's do that. There's no divisions in basic training anymore. Let's put... we want to design an armoured division, but we need more army experience to do that. Once the war gets started, we can do that. In the meantime, I'm going to push all my tanks into our infantry divisions. Right, hold your horses. Japanese diplomats in Berlin. A new partnership is developing between Tokyo and Berlin. Oh my god, now the Japanese are getting involved. That hopefully will bring America into it, though. But things are really kicking off. Hungary demands Transylvania. Ah, here we go. Right, we're at 80%. Japan has joined the Axis, which means the Allies are now effectively at war with Japan. Hungary has demanded Transylvania. Hungary is, of course, fascist, so... I don't think they're part of the Axis, though. But they are helping the Axis out. They've sent volunteer divisions to Germany, I think. Right, so things are hotting up. In summary, then, world tension is now at 80%. So if we want, we can get involved in the war, and I think we should. The sooner we do, the better. Let's take these armies off exercise, because these boys are going to be going into the real thing very soon. So stop them exercising. It does have a bit of attrition, obviously, when they're on exercise. But the sooner we get involved, the better. We can capture this German airfield here in Tyrol quite easily. We might get Innsbruck, Salzburg and Munich if we move quick enough. But yeah, Japan have got involved. Yugoslavia got involved. Hungary are kicking off, although they're not part of the Axis yet. And world tension is now at 80%. We've formulated plans to advance into southern Germany, or where Austria was, and also a preemptive strike on Yugoslavia is also in force just there. So join me next time to see how things go. The Allies seem to be holding the Germans on the Western Front, even making advances in some small places. We'll have to wait and see what the Soviets do. Japan have now joined the Axis. It'll be interesting to see when America get involved, if they get involved. Sometimes they don't. If you like the video, then click on like. And if you want to see more, make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.